Turkey's economic history has evolved over the years, placing the country at number 19 on the list of the largest global economies. Its GDP is approximately $906 billion. But things are not going well in Turkey. Turkey is facing a daunting economic crisis. As of December 2023, the inflation rate skyrocketed to a staggering 64.8%. Additionally, the Turkish currency has lost a lot of its value. Over the past 5 years, the Lira has lost more than 80% of its value compared to the dollar. Furthermore, unemployment surged to 9% in November 2023, and the country's current account deficit increased significantly to $2.7 billion in the same month. The situation got worse after President Erdogan was re-elected in May 2023. A month later, he quietly appointed a new Minister of Finance and central bank governor to tackle inflation by raising interest rates in the country. Many people thought this would help bring down inflation and stabilize the economy, but unfortunately, things seem to be getting worse. Turkish inflation is now at its highest level in over a year. In this video, we will explore why Turkey is facing such a serious economic crisis, why it seems so difficult to solve, and what role Erdogan plays in all of this. The prevailing economic challenges in Turkey did not start yesterday. They emanate from historical events like external and geopolitical factors and domestic policies. To understand these historical factors, you will need to analyze different periods such as the country's reconstruction after World War II, market-based reform policies, political instability, import substitution industrialization, and economic policy. So, what happened after World War II? Turkey embarked on ambitious reconstruction efforts that shaped its modern economy. The country adopted an economic and trade policy aiming to foster domestic industrial growth and decrease dependency on imports. Initially, this policy yielded economic expansion. However, by the 1980s, Turkey encountered significant challenges, with inflation soaring to an alarming 100%. While the policy had various advantages, it triggered inefficiency as a result of monopoly in the market, escalating inflation. Concurrently, Turkey grappled with a deteriorating external balance. Statistics revealed a widening current account deficit in that period, rising from around 3% of GDP in the early post-war years to nearly 5%. These figures revealed the disadvantages of the import substitution industrialization policy. Despite initial growth, the long-term consequences of these policies became evident, necessitating a reevaluation of Turkey's economic approach. During the 1980s, under the leadership of Prime Minister Turgut Özal, Turkey embarked on a series of reforms to reduce state influence in the economy, to attract foreign investment and promote export-led growth. These reforms included decontrolling capital markets, getting rid of price controls, and reducing trade barriers. Furthermore, Turkey focused on privatizing state agencies. While these measures brought short-term economic gains, they also contributed to structural imbalances and vulnerabilities. Due to these reforms, Turkey's current account deficit as a percentage of GDP increased from 3.7% in 1980 to over 4.9% in 2000. The country's heavy reliance on imports, coupled with weak export performance, exacerbated external imbalances and made the economy susceptible to external shocks such as reduced or high supply, increased or low demand, or changes in government policy. The liberalization of the financial sector in the 1990s also contributed to a series of banking crises that rocked Turkey's economy. Loose regulation, inadequate supervision, and risky lending practices by banks led to the accumulation of non-performing loans and financial instability. The collapse of several major banks in the late 1990s and early 2000s necessitated costly government bailouts, further straining public finances and undermining investor confidence. To counter the situation, the authorities developed a robust economic policy package in late 2000. The package sought to protect bank creditors and depositors until such a time when the banking system had been restored. Worth mentioning is that governments play a crucial role in managing a country's economic crisis. When President Erdogan was appointed, he took several measures during his 4-year term, slated for 2014 and 2024, to help revive Turkey's economy, such as fiscal stimulus packages, infrastructure investments, monetary policy adjustments, and structural reforms. Did these measures work? Mr. Erdogan claimed that cheap credit would boost exports and manufacturing. While his strategy was good, it also triggered inflation and a drop in the Turkish lira's value. Fiscal stimulus packages have long been employed as an economic growth driver. such as when Turkey implemented various stimulus measures during an economic downturn. However, their results have proven temporary. For instance, the country's GDP growth between 2013 and 2022 was marred by various factors. These included political instability, volatility, currency fluctuations, and monetary policy challenges. While there was growth in the earlier years, these challenges slowed it down mid-decade. In 2022, Turkey's economy grew by 5.9% in Q3 of 2023. Infrastructure investments have also been prioritized as an avenue for economic development under Erdogan's government, with ambitious infrastructure projects such as airports, highways, bridges, and energy facilities launched under his watch. Yet concerns have surfaced regarding cost-effectiveness and environmental impacts. An example is Istanbul's third airport construction, which has faced criticism due to high costs and environmental effects. And what do monetary policy adjustments have to do with the economy? The Central Bank of Turkey lowered interest rates in 2019 by 24%, but this decrease sped up quickly after the pandemic when inflation increased worldwide. Still, Erdogan insisted that raising interest rates would be some kind of un-Islamic conspiracy. So instead of raising interest rates, he lowered them. In essence, not a very strange thought, because as much of the world now knows, interest rate hikes cause real economic pain. Interest rates dropped from 19% at the end of 2021 to a low of 8.5% in early 2023. It's no surprise that these low interest rates further devalued the currency, which in turn drove up inflation, reaching a peak of 85.5% in October 2022. Turkey residents are facing various challenges amid the economic crisis. Apart from low salaries, prices are on the rise, making basic goods unaffordable. The Lira keeps sliding down, even though they appointed a finance minister and a central bank governor. They swiftly began raising interest rates to 40% in November 2023 to manage the country's 61.36% inflation. So, how can Turkey counter its economic challenges? For starters, the country's economic experts can come together to work on strategies that will boost efficiency and transparency. Encouraging sustainable spending from the government could also go a long way in managing the economic crisis. Promoting an effective monetary policy could be everything Turkey needs to beat its financial challenges. The ideal strategy should ensure that the Central Bank of the Republic of Turkey remains independent. Encouraging structural reforms is another approach that Turkey can use to eliminate barriers to growth drivers and encourage foreign and domestic investment, job creation, and enhance productivity. Proper infrastructure in the country can improve connectivity while encouraging economic development. In the end, this will create a seamless environment for the creation of jobs. In a bid to protect residents from external factors, the government can adopt measures to cut down reliance on some sectors. What's more, supporting non-conventional sectors such as renewable energy, technology, and advanced manufacturing is part and parcel of diversifying the economy. In terms of unemployment, Turkey is committed to reducing the unemployment rate in the country by establishing job centers across the country for short-term training programs. The Turkish armed forces will also provide vocational training, while new programs in cybersecurity, industrial digital transformation, and software development will be available in public institutions. Turkey's economic decline can be traced to a complex interaction of historical, political, and structural factors. From post-World War II economic policies through today's neoliberal reforms, the country has faced issues stemming from import substitution industrialization policies, political instability, geopolitical tensions, and geo-economical tensions despite President Erdogan's attempts at stimulating it with fiscal stimulus packages, infrastructure investments, monetary policy adjustments, and structural reforms. Their effectiveness has often been limited due to domestic or external obstructions. But this doesn't mean the plan was futile. Not at all. His strategies worked during the first years of his tenure before taking a halt. But it's becoming clear that the current policy isn't working. The only option left is to swiftly and significantly increase interest rates, which carries risks due to a higher chance of recession, thus reducing Erdogan's re-election prospects for this year's elections. However, it also offers the opportunity to lower inflation and become appealing again to foreign investors. Time will tell where the country is heading.